do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
What's up, everyone? My name is Ethan. This is Courtside TV. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So today I'm going to say something that has become incredibly obvious to everyone over the past few weeks. Do not overthink the Brooklyn Nets. Just don't do it. This team is obviously a title contender. They might be the favorite. I don't know. This team is clearly very good. I've still seen a couple of people questioning just how good they can be and bringing up the same age-old concerns and the stuff that we had kind of said when they made this James Harden trade. But I'm here to tell you right now that it's just not worth it, you guys. Let's not overthink the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're the favorite in the Eastern Conference. I think they're the best team. I thought that they were going to go to the finals before the season. I picked them to go to the finals before the year, and now that they've traded for James Harden, I don't think that really changes anything, to be completely honest. So I just wanted to talk about Brooklyn and why I still think they're clearly a very good team and just why you should not overthink them. We're talking about a team with three of the greatest pure scoring talents ever, maybe the three best pure scoring talents of the past 15 years. Maybe not the three best. There's some other guys, obviously, you could put in there. I think Steph Curry, LeBron. There's other guys that you could talk about, but these are clearly three of the most talented offensive players that we have seen in the league in this modern era of basketball, basically. Kevin Durant shoots over everybody. James Harden, we know he can put up, 35 a night. Kyrie Irving is one of the most talented isolation scorers, has one of the best handles, finish at the rim, he can shoot, he can do everything. When Kyrie Irving is your third offensive option, that's a pretty damn good team, okay? It's like, I don't know why everybody decided to jump on they can't play defense and they have no depth train, and honestly, I'll admit I'm a little bit guilty of that. Those were concerns that I had raised when they made this trade, but it's just not gonna be enough to pick against them in any series. The offensive firepower that they have is just kind of ridiculous, and I think the defense has been a little overblown. I know their defensive rating has not been great, but there's these big games and they've clamped up on people. Like, they've had these big games when they really need to get it done. They've been able to put the clamps down and really lock in and guard some people here. They had this win against the Lakers. The Lakers only scored 98 points. That happened a couple of weeks ago. I remember specifically they had a game against the Warriors in San Francisco, KD's return to Golden State. And I know Golden State ended up scoring 117 was their final, but the whole fourth quarter was pretty much garbage time. They were, locking them up before that. I remember Brooklyn had a really good defensive performance that game as well. They had, they held the Magic to 92. I know it's just the Orlando Magic. Held the Clippers to 108. And the Spurs scored 113 in overtime. So, it's not like these are like, every night teams are scoring 140 on them. Like, they don't have the best defense in the world, but they've had some big games over the past couple of weeks, and it seems like every time they have a big game, the defense works, and it's not the most flashy. There's obviously going to be slip-ups at times, but I do feel like they can get things done. They're tough. They know that that's something that they need to do, right? I'm sure that all their players are aware that, hey, we have all this offensive talent. Defenses, we're going to have to work on that in order to really win games, and I think that's been an emphasis for them, I'm sure. And we've seen it, Jeff Green, I think, plays really hard on defensively. We've seen James Harden, take on more of those defensive responsibilities that we've seen in the past. And they've just really been able to just get it all done. And I'm honestly impressed by the way that they've been able to play defense. I know that, the numbers don't necessarily say that they're a really good defensive team, but I just got to give them credit because it does feel like they've been playing hard on that end, and it doesn't really feel to me like it's going to be a concern when it comes to the playoffs. Now, obviously, things are different in the postseason, but they can score with anybody, and the defense is not the worst in the league, so I think they'll be able to get it done. And by the way, they've won 10 out of their last 11 games. They only had one loss to the Dallas Mavericks. That was a game in which both KD and Kyrie Irving didn't play. Also, out of those last 11, Kevin Durant's only played in 2 of those games. So they've been on this huge win streak without their best player. Make no mistake, Kevin Durant is their best player. And he's been out, and they've just continued to rack up wins. It's not like they're playing world beaters here, but they had 2 games against the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers, won both of those games. They have a win against the Warriors, win against the Phoenix Suns, huge comeback win over the Phoenix Suns. San Antonio has been a pretty good team this year. So it's not like they're, just beating up on crappy teams. This winning streak they have going here, they're beating good teams and they're doing it without their best player. That's honestly one of the most impressive things I've seen from them all year. And I also want to take this moment to give my apologies to James Harden. I know that's kind of weird, considering that in the past I have been a pretty big James Harden hater. It's understandable, right? Because he was on those Houston teams that took the Warriors and were, going toe-to-toe with them for those couple of years there. And I'm still not a huge fan of his foul drawing and stuff and his need to try to kind of shoot all the time. But honestly, that stuff has seemed to, at least to me, to be a lot better in Brooklyn. He's playing really, really good basketball, you guys. Like, the assist numbers are crazy. He's passing the heck out of the ball, getting everybody open. He's completely bought into trying to play as a team and win with this style. So maybe all that stuff in Houston was a product of Daryl Morey or Mike D'Antoni, and this might be James Harden at his best. I know he's not putting up those eye-popping statistics. He probably won't win any MVPs while he's in Brooklyn, and he's not like he's scoring 45, 50 every single night, and we know that he's capable of doing that, right? But here in Brooklyn, he's sharing the ball with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and he's playing better team basketball. I feel like he's playing with a team, and they're all completely bought into what it is they're trying to do. I think he's ready to try and go win a ring. He's past that stage of his career where he's, worried about all the individual accolades and all that stuff. And I just got to applaud him for it, for making that career shift and deciding, hey, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go try to win a title. And I would not be surprised if they did, because this is a team that is playing together. They're playing connected. They know what they need to do to win. I think that, when the time comes, there might be some struggles, but I do feel like they're the most talented team in the league, probably. I think they're better than everybody in the Eastern Conference. I think Philly would be a very interesting matchup, given, Brooklyn's lack of a center and obviously the level that Joel Embiid is playing at right now. That would be a fun series, assuming they play the Lakers in the finals and Anthony Davis is healthy. That would also be a very fun series, but I think they can go toe-to-toe with anybody. Who knows? There's a long time between now and the playoffs, but they could very well be my pick to win the title. I think they're definitely on the short list of contenders. I probably have like 4 or 5 teams that I think can win the title right now. Maybe there's a video on that soon. But the Brooklyn Nets are going to be on that list. They're playing well. They're playing together. They're playing connected. And I just gotta send my hater card for Kyrie Irving and James Harden, because those are both guys that I've been critical of in the past. But there's nothing I can say anymore. They've fixed, both of those guys have fixed the things that made me not like the way that they played before. Especially James Harden. He has completely changed into an efficient, sharing basketball player, and just got to give everybody on this team their props. Also, don't forget that they might upgrade. They might get pieces at the trade deadline, whether that's off the buyout market or via a trade. They still have a couple of pieces to work with here, and we might see them make a couple of moves between now and the end of the season. So this might not be the complete Brooklyn team, and if they can add even more weapons, I just think they're going to get even scarier. So don't forget, this is not the finalized version of this roster. I still think they might have the opportunity to fill some holes, and that's just only going to make them better. Anyway, I think that's about all I have on the Brooklyn Nets. Like I said at the top of the video, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, ring the bell if you want to, leave a comment letting me know what you think about Brooklyn. I know this is a team I've talked about a couple of times, and I probably won't talk about them again unless something crazy happens, but I just had to put this out there that I really do feel like the Brooklyn Nets are a title contender. They are, very much a threat in the Eastern Conference, probably the best team in the Eastern Conference, and do not overthink it. Don't, go, oh, they can't share the ball, oh, the defense is going to suck, oh, these guys have wilted in the playoffs in the past. Don't overthink it, you guys. This is a team with 3 of the top 15 players in the NBA on it. They're going to be just fine. And yeah, with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.